5. Katie, would you please take roll?
Karen Mao.
Here.
Liz Lasky. Here. Tim O'Connor.
Present.
Lainey Rozga.
Here.
Karen Peltola. And John Beach.
They're both excused,
Okay.
by the way. Okay. Approval of today's agenda. Does anybody want to make a motion?
I make a motion.
I support it. Second.
Second, all in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Wouldn't it be funny if I opposed?
It would
After I
be.
made a motion.
That happens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Citizen public comments. Does anybody want to step up and speak? Oh, up at the podium would be great.
We want to
Thanks.
record you.
My name is Gordy Heinold, lived here for about 5 years, and I'm here because Andrew Stafford is getting married in a couple days and he couldn't make it. So
Good excuse.
I stumbled into doing a native plant garden on the Riverwalk in 2021. Living in a condo, and I wanted to get my hands in the dirt. And so through a friend, I found out that Kelly Greavy was looking for somebody to do one. And so he introduced me to her, connected me, and through her and through Manistee Proud, I did the first one. And it's down behind what's Hoot and Honey bookstore now. So did that one, and the next year did a couple more, and got to work with the Parks Department, and stumbled into a little beach grass thing on Memorial Drive, and then last spring stumbled into, because of this lady, stumbled into a project in the First Street medians. But I'm not really a gardener. I've got this much skill. But I've got a passion for doing native plants. I think it's really important. And I'm just compelled to do it. So Andrew, last year, met me at a DDA meeting and asked for a tour of the garden. And that night he was helping me wheel barrels of mulch and spread it and pull weeds. And so we got to be friends, and he heard me talking about how for 3 years, every winter, I think this will be the winter that I find a coalition of people who want to do this. I'm not an organization person. I'm not an organized structure person. I like just relationships. And so I wasn't going to start a nonprofit or anything. And I was never part of Manistee Proud, though I kind of worked under them on a few things. But Andrew picked the ball up. And instead of a loose coalition of people, I guess his idea is to have a committee, perhaps under the auspices of the Parks Commission, that would provide some structure for volunteers. Andrew's language was for the Riverwalk Gardens. I think that's too restrictive. I'd like it to be much broader. But maybe, we start small, and I'm fine with that, whatever. So if something like this happens, as I understand it, it would make it easier to get funding from, for example, the Community Foundation, the Manistee County Community Foundation. Regardless, I'll keep doing what I'm doing. Now, I would love to have help, and I have, like last year, I took that project on the First Street medians, kind of like, oh crap, because I felt like I was already at the point where if it falls on me to maintain it, it's going to be kind of dicey, And then I added a couple more, and so Jane Sievert and some other people were just really great to come alongside and help, a number of people actually, we'll do that, but I can't imagine doing any more projects as it stands now. I would love to do more projects. I would love to, but I'd like to envision them, and dream them, and help plan them, and be less involved with the ongoing maintenance. I'm not a maintainer. A week ago Saturday, my wife and I went over to Rochester, Michigan, where there's a native plant nonprofit group that has done some really good work, and they just planted a mini forest in the city, in a city park. So we went over to see that, and then I got to talk with some of the people in their parks department. But I can envision all kinds of things that hopefully they'd be beneficial for the environment, they would be beautiful, and that's where I want help, because I'm not a designer, I'm not a gardener, you know? I appreciate beauty, but I can't create it very well. So if this could be a springboard for, if this could just provide for some ongoing maintenance, that'd be great. I would love to see something like this be maybe the beginnings of something that would be more inclusive and would allow for a number of new projects. There's a lot of bare dirt around here.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, the bill, or the way, one of the ways native plants are sold, besides the benefits to insects and whatnot, is that they are less maintenance. And they are not zero maintenance, and especially the first couple of years. And ongoing, there is some maintenance, but they're less than ornamental plants. And so I'm hoping that we can do some really nice things here. And yeah, so if this happens, that'd be great. If it doesn't happen, we'll continue anyway.
So they're going to propose projects then, what they'd like to do, or is that what Andrew's doing, or?
What Andrew is proposing is maintenance for existing things.
Okay.
I'm thinking, I have held myself back from thinking about more projects. I mean,
Right. You just need the resources to make it happen.
I need to make sure that the resources to make sure it happen, and the knowledge that they will be maintained. Because I hate the thought of doing something that's gonna
Right.
look shabby. Yeah.
All the projects, I know the projects you've done, and they're wonderful on Memorial Drive and down in the Riverwalk. Do you maintain those currently, or is that?
Yeah,
who
I have
does
been.
that?
I have been with some help. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Have you asked, just curiously, the NRBC list, do they still do a volunteer list of people?
Yes, there is a volunteer list. It's just, volunteers are hard to come by. Yeah, it's a short list. You know, right, Jeff? I mean, it's a very short list. It's not like we have volunteers lined up to work on projects. And
Yeah.
and the other thing is, we need to get younger volunteers. I saw that on that paint day. It's like, okay, and Andrew, there again, help on that. Worked so hard, but
Yeah.
we got to get a little bit more.
As he was
Younger people.
working on this, he asked me to come up with a list of people, and I made 4 phone calls and had 4 people who said, yes, we will commit to, I think the criteria was at least one day a month.
Oh.
At least one day a month.
Okay.
And several of those people said, hey, I got friends that'll come on, and since then, a couple more people. So there are at least 6 who have verbally committed. Now, some of those I'm confident will be faithful, some of them we'll find out.
There's that chamber leadership team too, that, you know, they were, part of leadership is volunteering, so that might be a potential for some people that took the course through the chamber. And we have like 4 years of graduates, whatever we call, from the course. So there's some good people there that might be interested in helping.
Well,
Sorry. You want to go ahead?
the same thing for the Spirit of the Woods.
That's
Garden
exactly what I
Club.
was going to say.
So they have to have so many hours of volunteer work
Same.
to keep their certification. And, you know, some of the stuff you're talking about is great, because I think we could do a better job of things like planting native grasses in a field so we don't have to mow it all the time. And it would save time, staff time, and money, and equipment, and so on. And I think the Conservation District, and you've worked with them, they're always willing to help.
Absolutely.
And they know what we should plant and stuff.
Right.
And I just think I think if there was someone who said, and there were a core group of people, and somebody said, on this day, show up to do this, I think people would show up, because I think sometimes we just need direction and organization. And I agree with you, the Riverwalk is too narrow, because there's so much more we could do.
Right.
So-
Well, regarding the Conservation District, I've talked with those folks, and they are very willing to assist a project that someone else initiates.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've talked with some folks from the tribe, same thing. There's someone from Frankfurt who's done work for the city there, who is a landscape designer. And the Rochester folks, you know, there are all these resources, you know, people who have, you know, got expertise and knowledge, and yeah. But they need, they're not going to do the project.
Right.
Yeah, they want.
Just a couple thoughts I just had while listening. You know, there was a beautification commission that was part of the city for many years, and they did many projects, and it got folded in as part of the Parks Commission. And then probably about 8-9 years ago, the beautification aspect kind of went away because the interest and it just went away. I see a resurgence in that right now, and you know, when Kelly was doing all the projects, she had dozens and dozens of people that got inspired and would help out, and I think there was a lot of good work that was done. The NRBC, when that was created, that was kind of one of their tasks, was to create that volunteer list and and help beautify the areas of the community. I know they had approached you at one time about working collaboratively with the parks, because they're specifically not mandated in the parks, but I think those cross lines to make the community pretty. So I think there's a lot of volunteers out there. Gordy does a tremendous amount of work and is very good to work with, and there's a number of people that are very similar to that. But then I also just thought Blossom Boulevard, when Kendra stepped down from that due to all the businesses she weren't running, nobody has stepped into those shoes. But there's dozens and dozens and dozens of volunteer groups that would weed that and plant that every year, and those people are left without a project right now. So maybe that's a good opportunity to kind of blend that all together and make some more things happen. And the city does budget money each year for volunteer support.
3,000.
Yeah, we've reduced it a little bit because we didn't use it all the last year, but there's money to support those, and Gordy can attest that.
Yeah.
You know, we buy the materials and try to support that as much as we can.
Oh, that was awesome. Those two projects, the Memorial Drive project and the First Street medians, were really satisfying, because you guys, well, you funded them, and then you did the follow-up watering, you did the prep, the site prep on Memorial Drive, and it really felt satisfying as a collaboration. Yeah, and so thank you again.
Thank you. Thank
Bet.
you.
Thank you, yeah. We'll see what we
All right.
can do. We got to do something.
Put our
Okay.
heads together and see what we can come up with.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Jeff, is there any interest from the city in having a beautification commission again? If there's that interest in,
I haven't heard it discussed,
I don't know if it
but
needs a
I
commission,
think that's
it's just-
kind of what the NRBC's current role is some of that.
patient?
Just volunteers.
I mean, it's-
Gotta get the volunteers. They don't need
It's
to-
kind of right in their title. Restoration and beautification.
Thank you. Okay. Trying to remember okay. It's a long title. Thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone else? No? No. Okay. Great. Thank you. Do we have anyone who's looked at the minutes and wishes to make a motion?
I'll make a
to approve?
motion to approve the minutes from April 17.
You have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Did you say? I'm sorry.
Aye.
You did, okay. And then correspondence, I just wanted to say that I sent out the letters to both the Planning Commission for thanks for supporting the parks, and then the letter to City Council on the Sands Park in Jefferson that we all signed last time. So I think,
Hear anything back?
I heard nothing back from anyone.
Okay.
But you were on City Council, so I guess technically I hear from you guys, but.
It's in the
but-
paper.
Yeah, but no,
Paper that,
no one else.
It was
so.
in the paper?
well, it was a little bit.
Our letter wasn't in the paper.
No, not the letter, the response a little bit, that
Right.
nothing's
So-
probably going to happen, that'll stay as is.
Oh.
And then I know
No.
you had emailed with Gordy. You had mentioned. Has anyone else had correspondence with? Likewise, it's been
Just with
quiet.
Gordy, I guess.
Okay. So committee reports. Eyes on the park. Mr. O'Connor.
Went by Fifth Avenue. The canopies ordered? To be-
Yes.
To be replaced?
Yes.
Okay, I just noticed that. Nice to see the city flag flying.
So I'm glad you noticed that.
Okay.
I was digging around late one afternoon after everybody had left, and I found a box of those.
No kidding.
Really?
And I said, we got to get that baby up. So,
I told Dad, he was all happy. You know, I sent him a picture. I go, hey, look what's flying. So,
I've actually found that like in January, and I've been waiting for the weather to turn nice, yeah.
yeah, but parks are looking good, going to do a good job. Obviously, you can tell everything's getting ready for Memorial Day weekend. So, I mean, I really honestly found nothing that needs attention at all. It's just nice job. Things are cleaning up really well. So, but Fifth Avenue Beach is looking good. So, flag is flying high. So, no, all good. I don't have pictures. Yeah, I'm going to step it up next time. I have a big PowerPoint presentation. I'm gonna present.
Thanks, Tim.
You
Did you
set
go by
the bar.
Did you go by Duffy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Everything's good.
Everything's good. Okay. Rich Merrick's good.
Hmm?
Everything.
Yeah.
Well, that was easy. Okay.
It looks like they've been out there and they're cleaning and they're getting everything ready to go. So you can tell they've been working on it.
Okay. Laney?
So 9th Street boat launch, the porta potty, there's a lot of homegrown decorations on the inside. Probably needs,
Inside?
yeah, needs lots of graffiti. Kind of, and that door is just weird. It's warped, so. Happened to be 3 people fishing in the rain, but no catching going on. Noted the new garbage can. Still wish it had a lid. But other than that, it's the same. The water level's down. You could tell. It might be up today, though. What do you have next? Morton Park. Looked pretty good. I see you've got the tree planted, the replacement tree, which was nice already.
We did not.
Really?
No, we haven't ordered though.
That's weird. Did they take the tree out that I didn't notice at that?
We took it.
Okay, okay, so I
Yeah.
was looking at a different
There's another tree there.
Yeah,
The tree looked good, but all the bags were empty, which I suppose.
yeah, I have a new one ordered for it.
Okay, but the watering bags, I don't know, maybe they're not even needed because they've been there a year. So you might, there's just one, I mean, they were empty too. I did walk all the way to the back, north, to the fence, and there's a lot of litter way on the other side of the fence. It's pretty ugly. So in the north and east side, I don't know if at some point we could kind of get a couple people together.
Morton?
Yeah, at Morton.
Okay.
I hauled out a bag of garbage yesterday, but there's a lot of blackberry bushes and stuff. You need gloves and the right clothes to.
Is that inside the fence or outside? Just
Outside.
outside, okay.
It just looks nasty
Mm-hmm.
on many levels. So, maybe at some point, I mean, when I go around, I always fill a bag. And sooner or later, I'll get it done. But if we want it done sooner. Reed's Park noted that the group there had, what the heck's their name? Saints. Put the black coating on all their asphalt around the concessions and so on. So that looked really nice. I do think the bathrooms really need a deep scrub. And you know how you get a sewer smell if the drain doesn't? That's how the bathrooms smell. So I don't know, put some glycol down there or something legal, whatever. So it doesn't, but they're pretty grubby and not very inviting. So the outside looks good, but the inside looks bad.
That was actually next on my list to repaint and clean up.
I'm really happy to hear that because, like the rest looks pretty good, And that's it. That's my eyes on the park.
Okay. I guess I'm up next. So I have a
Oh boy,
PowerPoint.
here we go.
Because I was so inspired by how beautiful it was out today. I wanted
Yeah.
you all to see because, I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
I noticed the
gorgeous.
holes were dug.
The holes were dug.
Yes.
At Morton,
They were
Yeah.
planting,
and there's grass in them now.
Yeah.
Okay, I only saw that hole.
They worked on it this morning, in the
Oh,
afternoon.
okay, cool.
Yeah, looks pretty.
Okay, but thank you. There are 4 new swings over there to replace the baby swings and things that were in poor shape. So they looked really nice, really super nice. So, yes.
I do want to mention that the slide steps are starting to rust already. So I wonder if we need to
At
put.
Morton?
Yeah. And it's what, been a year?
It's only a year.
Yeah. So I don't know if we used the wrong paint, didn't prep it right, or what.
Is it the green part that's rusting or the
Yeah.
silver?
the stair, the
The
actual
green?
stairs.
Just the stairs. So I don't know what's going on there. Sorry, but I'm done.
That's okay.
Honest.
It's important. Okay, but those swings are awesome, and that whole park was stunning today. It was just,
Yeah.
it was gorgeous.
Looks like it.
So, anyway, thank you. The bleacher bottom bench has been replaced with a new board and recently stained. And I wanted to ask about the little dugout benches there. Are those new boards and recently stained too? Because they look perfect. You guys did that too? Mm-hmm. It looks stunning.
There was volunteers that asked to do that last year. We gave them permission, but
Yeah.
we just went ahead and did it after they didn't.
It's beautiful. I mean, I took a close-up for you because it looks so nice. But that was all on that one. And also in MAC, I just took pictures because it looked really nice. The volleyball net is new and beautiful. And did you guys paint the backboard of the basketball, or did it just always look that good?
That I don't know.
It looks like pristine, really. I mean, the backboard looked really nice. And I don't remember there being markings on the ground for basketball, was there?
That was me. No.
I say you just got out there and you did it for the,
I mean, it's gorgeous. I couldn't find a thing wrong with
When we bought the
anything at Mac
stencil,
Park.
we did all of them.
You did, I'm sorry?
When we bought the stencil,
You did?
we did
Okay.
all of them.
Okay. See, Mac Park is my new park because we kind of rearranged parks when Sean left, so Laney took his and I took Mac from Laney. But, so yeah, no, it's a great little park. And the neighbors across the street happened to be out in their front yard at the time when I was out this morning, and they raved about it, how Patterson's, how they loved how beautiful it looked. And so that was kind of nice.
It's a neighborhood, it's a neat little neighborhood park.
Yeah, the park looks great. So, Little Rocket Park Rotary, is that the sensory board that's going right there?
Yes.
Okay. And
We-
I like how it's right at the end of the sidewalk. It's kind of cool. But then I sat down on the picnic tables under the shade structure, and it's like
Blocks of view.
right where the lake is. And I didn't like that very well. And I know nothing's gonna be perfect because there's lots of different places you can go, but
We actually dug or installed the posts for the volunteer group, but I didn't, they instructed my staff where to put them, so.
I was wondering if, since it's not completely installed yet, would they be willing to bump it over with maybe the woods as a background or
They're in
obscuring the.
They're in
oh.
concrete.
So, yeah, I mean, you're
I
sitting
mean,
at the picnic table and.
that doesn't mean they couldn't be removed, but that would require new posts and,
But yeah, but I was kind of disappointed that people sitting at the picnic tables now, they're not going to have that view when they're sitting there, but,
I'd agree.
yeah.
Yeah,
What'd you say, Tim?
I would agree.
Yeah, I think we
Sad to
have a
block the
tendency to do that, and maybe it's our fault. They asked us kind of where we wanted it, and I think we have to be very specific, because, and it wasn't ours, it's the county. That same thing is out at Magoon Creek. You sit there on the bench, and you see these 3 signs, and they're right in front of the lake. And
Yeah.
nothing beats the lake. And I think we, maybe being here, don't appreciate it enough, but there's so many places that could have used that back by the trees or back.
Right.
Yeah, that was,
But yeah, even at
Bad.
this playground, if you could obscure the parking lot, you know,
Mm-hmm.
from the cars, or put
Exactly.
the pretty trees behind it on that curved sidewalk, you know, but that's me.
If he can move.
are the other ones up?
yes, we installed all 3 of them.
Is there one at First Street? They were talking about First Street, I thought.
That is at First Street.
Where's the third one then?
There's this one, there's one
By the marina.
by the DDA switchback
Where's that?
next to Dick's Barber Shop.
Oh, okay,
Gordy's done a lot of work there.
okay. I haven't been over there.
There's one at the bottom of that ramp, and then there's one at the library,
Oh,
where they tore that house down and put that little nice area in.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really feel strongly that's not the best
Can it be moved?
Can we ask that
Can
it
be.
be relocated? I mean, it's in its early stages, I know, but
We can reach out to the group and,
Yeah, I would
say-
agree.
if, you should send me that picture and then I'll reach out to the group with your
it's on PowerPoint,
concerns.
so we can, yeah, totally.
I know, but I'm going to email it to them.
Yes, absolutely. And then just thank you for removing that, acoustic element
The new one's
that was
ordered,
broken. So that's a
I
lot
think-
better.
$350 for it, something like that.
Yeah. So maybe the plastic just crumbled with the old one, but,
I think somebody poked it out.
okay. But it's a good improvement, so thank you. And that's another great little park. And this, I love. I mean, that just makes the
Yeah,
park.
that sticks out.
I don't have the before picture. It's somewhere in my other PowerPoint. It was like silver before with little streaks of red. It looked like it belonged in
Yeah,
a
that-
murder movie or something. But this is like, my boys were so excited to see that when I took them down the other day. So it's just really,
Yeah, it sticks
really
out.
nice. And all 4 boards needed, only one I saw really needed wrapping and maybe a second, but you guys did all 4, and I just think it looked amazing. So thank you for rewrapping the edge boards there. And the graffiti's gone, and then those tables that were never level in the back, those are gone. Thank you. Is it just that they weren't on level land, or were they not?
They're just
structured.
old and warped, and so we just pulled them out and replaced them with our standard park tables.
And it looks a lot better. They're flat and level, and the octagonal ones at the front look great, but
Yeah.
those in the back were like a crooked picture that, okay. So thank you. And then First Street Beach Family Disc Golf Course, is that still the official name? Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah.
Okay. Tree Commission planted a tree. I think you guys were you the ones digging and,
We just worked with them to support their project.
okay. Well, it looks really nice. Is it maple? What is that?
That's a silver maple, and I ordered 2 more for that
Oh,
to go
good.
next to it as well.
Like
Yeah,
lining
it
the road?
could use more trees, good.
Yeah.
So I just thought that would be a good place to kind of kick that off, and hopefully, I mean, obviously, we'll replace the one at Morton because it got vandalized, but the tree commission's very excited about obviously planting new trees in the community. They really want to work with the Parks Commission for other opportunities in the parks. There's a couple of small grants that are available each year to do those type of projects. So David Blair from the Tree Commission, we had a meeting earlier this week, and he was going to come representing them to offer to work with you guys. Liz had approached them at last month's Tree Commission meeting about specifically tree planting along the US 31 corridor. Excuse me. And the Tree Commission is very excited about that and working with the Parks Commission to kind of collaborate on where trees could be added. Just thinking through my mind, from the city limits on the north end down to 12th Street, I don't think there's a tree in the right-of-way along US 31. But with the road diet going down to 3 lanes, there could be some opportunities there. And we did ask MDOT in a meeting last week that we had here at City Hall, and they will pay for the trees as part of the project cost.
Good.
So David, and I've got his phone number if anybody's interested, but they would like to get a couple members from the Tree Commission, from the Parks Commission, and form a little committee to start working on that so that MDOT can incorporate that into the designs.
That's great. That'll make a big difference.
That's huge, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They did that in Traverse City, and it looked great. And it was MDOT, I think that did it there along the Parkway, Grandview Parkway runs along West Bay. And they put trees in there, and I thought, what a difference it's gonna make
Yeah,
on
and
the
then-
boulevard.
Another thing is I think Laney brought it up, but the Conservation District was also at their meeting and offered to help with information about species and
Right.
what would work good in a salt environment, what won't, grow too big under the power lines or stretch out in the roadway where you've got semi and snow plowing conflicts. And so they would, offer to be a part of that group as well, which is awesome.
Well, and the tree commission might be another resource for you, Gordy.
Yeah, kind of wait.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they just collaborated on the ornamental grass planting at Morton Park today, so,
Know that.
I
yeah.
have a PowerPoint for that,
Kinda.
actually, for later. That's
Okay.
That's my other PowerPoint, but I know. But I think you're right.
Okay, start with the marina, those doors were painted, and that was a big improvement. Those look nice. The restroom doors, men's and women's, that was painted. And then going on, some of the things that we should do, and this might be something volunteers could do. I mentioned to Jeff earlier that shuffleboard is an activity. It needs to be power washed. There's 3 cracks that need to be filled, and then it needs to be painted green and stenciled. So that should definitely be done. And
We had somebody come here asking us to do that.
yes, yes, and he was actually one of the people that volunteered at Morton, so now he feels so I'll stay on that. And then the next one on that same area, which if we had those all neat, those tables, they don't look bad, but they could use a new coat, coat of paint, and I'd like to see checkerboards painted on that. And then if at the marina we had checkers, or, they just look cute, just to have the boards on there. It would look very nice, but I think people might use them. I know that one that we visited up in Glen Arbor, they actually hung the checkers on the outside and they stayed there. Now, I'm not sure that would happen here, but you could always try it. Checkers are cheap. And we could try it. They just hung it in a mesh bag and they did remain there. So I'd be willing to invest in a couple sets and see if that were to work out, if that were to last. Those bushes, I think, are still under warranty. There was 8 boxwoods that are dead right there at the top of the marina. And it was Larson.
Katie has talked to Larson's, they're going to replace them.
Okay,
Oh, awesome.
positive, that's good. Okay, so that's done. And then painting that swing, that's why if we had enough volunteers at painting that swing.
Oh,
Katie has that scheduled for
the dock hands are
tomorrow.
gonna do them tomorrow.
Oh, well, thank
They're
you.
gonna do both swings and
Yes.
all the picnic tables,
Okay. that
cause they
was-
need it, so.
Okay.
We got the paint and we're ready to go, so.
Okay, and then those no smoking.
They're gonna do
Someone
that
got
too.
really good
They're
at
gonna
that.
do
As
that
it
too.
progressed, they
Yeah.
got that down. Whoever
Yeah.
did the last ones, continue with that one. And then the planters, who plants those?
I'll plant them, we just
Okay.
haven't yet, but I'll go to Weese's and get flowers and plant those.
Okay.
Next week.
And then there is concern, I did get calls on this, on that new switchback. Not everybody's sure that, I know it's in the beginning stages. I think they love the green space, people like green space, and now it's kind of all not green anymore, it's covered with boards. And so, there will be cement at the top, I'm sure, because it ends about 6 feet from the sidewalk. And then are we gonna spray to get the grass? It looks like, and I hope those trees don't die. Do we spray to get the grass back, or what
That's
happens?
the contractor's responsibility to restore all the turf in there.
Okay,
Have you been down there?
I was there
Today?
yesterday, no.
Okay, today it's tremendously improved.
Is it? Okay,
And
It looked
the
rough
cable
yesterday.
railing is up. Well, they smoothed it all out. And I don't,
Sure.
yeah, Katie just sent me a picture of it just before the meeting, actually.
okay.
It's looking a lot better.
Okay, well, you look
They-
scared too.
Yeah, they regraded it, and then, but they've got to topsoil and seed all that in. The cable railing looks tremendous,
You
I
need a
believe.
PowerPoint
I saw the cake.
Well, it just happened today.
Yeah, just.
It just
right
happened
before the meeting,
today.
I sent it to
Tables.
Jeff.
So one point I wanted to bring up to you is, Bill and I, the city manager and I have been working, in the marina, there's about 800 feet of posts, and then it's got just the link, the steel chain links. Can you picture what I'm talking about? So what we're trying to do is replace that with the cable railing, and we would wrap the existing posts, put a top plate on there, put the cable railing, so we improve the aesthetics and the safety, and it won't be like that sign where you can't see through it, you'll be able to see through it. So we're gonna see if there's leftover contingency money from the EDA Riverwalk project, and that could be the first kickoff. So I'm working on getting a little RFP. We've already gotten prices from the contractor that's there right now. But to conform with our purchasing policy, we need to do a little competitive thing on that.
maintenance free then? You said wrap the posts and,
It's more maintenance free than,
Those won't
it's not
warp?
too bad.
It's wide and, it's thick enough that it shouldn't warp, or,
The cables?
no, the top railing.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. It's gonna
Yeah.
be okay.
And then there's a similar type system that's designed for Memorial Park also. So it would be create some consistency there.
See, that was one of my comments. You could see 3 railings when you stand, and that, there was too much going on. There was too many different railings, so that would be an improvement, so.
Yeah.
And then they'll clean up and everything that, you know, the Riverwalk.
Yep.
It looks,
They should be done in the next couple
do
days.
they wash it, or, I mean, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay. And then, is this a different group that did the boards on the Riverwalk, or is it the same one that?
That's the same contractor.
Okay, because some of those boards are really, I guess the word would be chipped. I mean, they're like beveled, and instead of being flat, they were like second.
Well,
Will they replace some of those bad boards?
Laney actually pointed that out, and so we investigated with the engineers, looked at that, looked at the specifications, looked at the work that they did. Technically, they're in compliance. The wood that they used on the deck replacement is not decking, so it's not of that quality, because it is actually 2x6 dimensional lumber. And the engineers spec'd out a number 2, that's a grade of board. They actually installed number 1, which is a little bit better. But there's probably 20 to 30 boards that we're gonna ask them to either flip over or replace.
Okay,
And then there's a couple trip hazards that I just signed a change order for yesterday to
will the
address some of
cement
those.
be replaced, or is that,
We're gonna take, like, there's one
Yeah,
where the
that's-
cement has settled and it's hollow underneath it, so we're gonna actually take out a section of that cement and replace it with new board.
okay,
Because there's just no way to get the,
then yes.
yeah, and from the city marina, from really the Elks Building down to the US 31 to the Chamber of Commerce, all of that land is platted to the water's edge, so the landowners, the building owners have riparian rights. The city just has an easement for the Riverwalk itself across that stretch. So I think somebody commented earlier about how narrow it is and wish we had more opportunity, but we're kind of confined to the way it was originally designed unless we got permission from the property owners. So, yeah, so my point is,
It will
the
be-
problem with that sidewalk sloping is that there's drainage coming from the building that dumps on top of the Riverwalk, and it's eroded the soils below it. And
And then it'll be painted, and we got quite a bit of work left to do on it, correct?
yeah, there wasn't enough money to do everything, but there's still a lot of upgrades that can be done in the Riverwalk. And after this project is done and after Memorial, the North Riverwalk is completed, then we've got money budgeted to do an asset management plan for the entire Riverwalk stretch. So we can identify what needs there are, what the costs are gonna be, and then program in even the stuff that was put in today that we know in 20, 30 years, we're gonna have to start replacing.
But we're gonna get new lights, and it'll all be painted and everything, right?
The painting
I mean, it's
had
1.2 million, so,
1.6.
yeah, that's a lot of money.
So we're replacing the lights with LEDs, so the luminaires are changing, but not the lights. And then I believe the light poles and the railings, there's a separate contract for painting.
Okay.
That'll still be coming.
And then they'll cover I was surprised that the decking went in first, but I understand that was when they wanted to do it, was February. So,
There's 5 separate contracts.
yeah, so they'll protect it, okay, yeah. There's been a lot of calls. People are like really watching that Riverwalk, and I think they expect it to be looking brand new when it's done. So that would be the only concern. Back to the marina. There's 2 lights.
Laney,
What'd you say?
I just wanted to ask one more question on the Riverwalk, because I don't remember I don't recall reading this part and the spec. The board, the perpendicular to the boardwalk itself on the south side wasn't replaced.
Right.
That wasn't to be replaced? Okay. All right. That answers it. Thanks.
There was a lot more that we were hoping to get done, but the prices just
Okay.
were too expensive to do them.
Okay. Anyway. There's 2 lights down at the marina, at the shuffleboard, right above the shuffleboard court, and they just need to be straightened a little bit, but the details make the difference. Oh, and one last thing on the Riverwalk. They're not price tags, they're like little UPC, but they're all on the stairs and throughout that. Those need to be removed. You know, they're like the little stapled white tags, they're gonna end up in the lake, and you do
Yeah.
that when you do your own project, you take it off. And I thought it makes it look
Finished.
compromised. It makes like, well, they didn't even care enough to take the price tags off.
Yeah,
which they're
those
not.
are like punch list items.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, so, let me see if there was anything else. That's the marina. And then, down at the Lions Pavilion, the new calendar was up, that was positive. The trash was emptied, the ceiling fixture was replaced and put back up on the ceiling, that was down, and that was all good. Some of those picnic tables need paint maybe later this summer under the ceiling of the cabanas. So, and then we do have enough chairs. All the red chairs have been placed out, but that's enough. And at First Street Beach, the stainless steel that was stripped, they put a new strip on there right around, there was like a counter that was mentioned, and that got replaced. And the tables seem better at First Street Beach than they are even at the Lions Pavilion. I think those bathrooms really need deep cleaning, like you said, whoever said that. Around the toilets, it looks stained and yellowed, and I think it would come out. I think that overall, looking at it, everything might not be brand new, but if it's clean and we have everything clean, if there's plantings and cleanliness, paint, and plantings cover up a lot of things being brand new. So that bathroom would be nice to have painted, but I think that bathroom's used a lot. And that's it.
I do have another question.
I have something too.
Okay.
You go first.
There's a planter underneath the little free library at Morton Park. Who does that? It's not a very big one? Okay,
I'm not
I'll-
aware of
I'll
it.
do it.
I can do it with you.
It's like a little window box, right?
Yes,
Like
it was just
Yeah, it's just a little bitty
rectangular
thing.
That was nice. It'd be a great spot for flowers.
Yeah, okay. I'll get
The
that
neighbor, I'll
done.
ask her.
Not
Okay.
this week, but soon.
Okay, one thing on First Street I noticed, because I went down there a couple times at night, driving through, and there are 3 of those bollards that don't light up. Did you already know about that?
No.
At the
Oh,
beach.
yeah, at First Street, there's the one there's the one in front of the southernmost cabana, doesn't light up, and then the one to the left of that by the walkout to the overlook. And then there's one right next to the sidewalk leading to the Lions Pavilion. I can't remember if it's the left or the right that borders that sidewalk that doesn't light up. So
Seems
there were
like
3.
electrical problems there all the time.
Always, yeah.
Like, what's the deal?
Could it ever just be the light bulb burned out? Is it?
I don't know.
Not likely, because when we repainted those several years ago, I had them switched out to LEDs. So it's not really a bulb anymore, but
Okay.
we'll have the electrician look at them.
Yeah, it was just those 3 I just happened to notice. Okay, and John and Karen aren't here, but did anybody happen to go by any of their parks? No, I did not. No? Okay. I guess that's back to you, Jeff. Do you have anything?
Just a couple things. We talked about the DDA Riverwalk project. Memorial Park bids are due on that next week. So hopefully we had a pre-bid meeting down there 2 weeks ago. There were probably 5 contractors that came to it. I've seen at least 3 walking around with prints.
Good.
So, and the one that did the work that's doing the work right now is bidding on it, so.
Be under one contractor, I think
Yes.
that's nice, if they just bid the whole thing, so not piecemeal it,
Well,
if we can.
the answer is yes.
Good.
We tried to do that
I
on
know.
this side, but where there's different sets of rules because we have federal money involved. And somebody has to be a general contractor, and then they have to go out and find subs to do all the different work. And what we were finding is that everybody wanted to be a sub, nobody wanted to be a general, and we were getting from the generals ridiculously high prices. $3.5 million, $5.5 million for $1.5 million project. So we ended up taking a different route, and we broke it into 5 contracts, and we're managing it internally, which then got us to where we needed to be. So that was a strategic move.
Okay.
I mentioned the 31 trees. You mentioned Arbor Day. That's good for me.
What about that West End grant? Wasn't there another grant on West End on the
The
rest?
Riverwalk, the DDA thing.
The RAP grant.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the city was awarded almost $1 million for the west end of River Street from Spruce to Oak. I think they're trying to stretch it all the way to Maple possibly, but I believe design work will begin this year and you could see construction as early as next year.
Now, when you say design work, are they talking about changing it? I mean, do we have to have design work if we're just actually, like on our Riverwalk here, there were not much, it didn't appear to be a lot of changes. You know, everything, they just put the boards down where they were. Do we have to pay a design fee to just
I thought there was
replace?
design.
100%.
We did have a design fee, and yeah, I'm just wondering, we didn't really change that much in the design. It's pretty much just repairs and maintenance.
The DDA hired a consultant to do conceptual ideas
Okay.
and options. And then from that, there's a team that's has been working for over probably 8 months to look at different options of upgrading, but staying within what the DDA can afford and the city can afford. This grant obviously allows them to do more, and that's still very fluid, but 100% that has to be
Okay.
designed.
At the Sands Park Control Board meeting, you noted that you were going to do some checking regarding the skate park. Have you made any
Yes, thank
progress
you.
on that?
Yeah, so Spicer, for the skate park, and I think it's important, I don't know if I brought it up last month, but when the first request came out and there was discussion about resurfacing that, I had the engineers go and look and evaluate the pavement after I looked at it, and I was trying to understand the pavement's actually in good condition. So the engineers went and looked at it and rated it like we do parking lots and streets, and it rated pretty good. And so then it was kind of like, well, not understanding what the need for a project is. As we listened to some of the users, what we learned is that it's not just the pavement's in bad condition, but the surface is rough. And so if you're walking on it, it's fine. If you're driving on it, it's fine. But if you got little wheels, then it makes it very bumpy. And so the goal is to put something back and smooth that surface out. The discussion at the control board was the best thing for that doesn't change is concrete, but that's obviously more expensive. So I've got the city engineers working on cost estimates for a couple different techniques. One would be like a white topping where we top it with concrete. One would be take the asphalt out, report with concrete, and then the other would be grind the asphalt off and repave it. Pavement has about a 25-year life in that situation. It's been about 25 years since it was originally put in there, so that makes sense. Concrete has a 50-plus year life until it starts to crack. But one of the commission, or one of the board members also said, but what about the equipment? If the equipment has a 20-year life, are we going to put a 50-year surface in? So I have Sinclair Recreation coming up here to do kind of an evaluation on what the likely remaining useful life is as well.
The gentleman who started this whole thing, are you working with him?
I haven't had conversations with him since that day, but I talked to him after the meeting and told him once we got that information together, we would schedule another meeting, and then
Okay,
that
so
board
you
will
do
need
plan
to.
on
Yeah.
working with him going
Good.
forward?
Yeah.
Great, I'm
Because
glad.
I know they're still working on fundraisers and so forth, but
He was a good, interested in, he's a
Well, and he knows,
skateboarding.
yeah.
and when you drive by there, that gets a lot of use. It gets a lot of use.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I have a question. You guys did such a great job when you power washed the Fifth Avenue bathrooms. Are the bathrooms open yet?
Yes.
For people to go in? Was it ever painted? I know.
Yes.
Oh, so now I really want to go down and see it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it-
I saw it clean. I didn't see it painted. How did it turn out?
It's fresh.
Does it look good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And it,
Yeah.
respectfully, it's tough because I want to do more of that right now, but right now, we're getting all the parks ready. We try to get as much done as we can before Tight Lines for Troops this weekend. And then the big push is to get the parks in the best shape we can before Memorial Day weekend, then maintain from all our visitors in use over the summertime. And then in the fall, then I can pick a couple projects to do over the summer, fall, as we have time for that. The bathrooms, I'm trying to get that window between end of winter and when we open them up. And it's tough. I mean, we bought heaters to be able to do Fifth Avenue and to do Arthur Street and to do the Marina Building, so we could warm up those places because there's no heat in them, so.
That Arthur Street floor, and you said one of the people, your people did it.
Yep.
That would be so nice at First Street. That floor is bad in there. It's missing chunks. You know, I mean, it's kind of, whatever, the paint or whatever was on it. That floor would be.
It's epoxy.
Epoxy, yeah. That would
Like
be
how
so
many,
nice.
how many bathrooms can you renovate in a year? Not renovate, but
We've been doing one,
One.
a full renovation where we're power washing it, steaming it, and then repainting it when it dries out. And
but you said Reed's Park, excuse me, is next on the list. for
well,
or-
that one and First Street were the two that I had thought. And honestly, when we were going to get to that point, I was going to get your input on them. But Reed's Park, if we can find the time, that one might be able to be done during the summertime, because it doesn't have real heavy use until the weekends.
Yeah,
You know,
close it for a day or two.
Yeah.
A few days, a week.
First Street, we're going to have to be real dedicated for that.
Okay. I just know we're up for Best Beach in Michigan again, so
I vote every day.
you too. Okay. Let's see. Anything else from you?
No.
No. Okay. So if we go on to events and we start with movies in the park, because that's first, I didn't do PowerPoint, I'm sorry, but I did print out what I found. I didn't want to put people's personal information up there, but way back in September, I had a conversation with a gentleman from Ludington who helps put on their movies in the park. They've been doing it for 24 years now. I had no idea. So we're a little behind the eight ball on that one, but they're a great source of information, and I found out how they do their licensing from Swank, where they do their funding, and even how to do the Swank website and how to decide how many people to, you have to declare how many people are coming, which nobody ever knows, but it's the process basically for getting this to happen. And the hang up where I stopped is the technical part, is what kind of sound system, what kind of feeder boards, speakers, how many speakers, what power, all of that, what size screen, and that type of technical thing. I need someone else to help, and I think you, Tim, said he would step up the technical side. So this gentleman, Ron, they actually use a person who is from their high school audio visual department. They also do their city council videoing, and they're the actual. Yes, and they're actually the people that go out and set up the equipment and run the equipment and help to run that event. So I have his contact info, and then I asked Grok AI what kind of equipment that we would use if we wanted, say, 200 people at a beach setting in northern Michigan. I mean, it was very specific, and the information I got back is very specific about what kind of screen, what type of brightness, what type of sound system, what power, what
He
coverage.
gave you all this?
This was Grok AI, X.com, which I love.
Oh,
But
Okay.
they had a couple of days where you could use their most upgraded version for free, and I took advantage of that. So, I mean, practical considerations, what kind of power source, how many watts, I mean, it's all in there. But there's also just a funny little thing that I was playing with because I didn't know how to use AI, so. If you want to know how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood. It's like 4 paragraphs long from AI. It's kind of fun. Anyway,
so
I've
no prices, what this stuff would
the
cost?
licensing, yes, was $1,000 to $1,200
No, I
for
mean
3 to 4
equipment.
movies for a season.
Well, I think it would depend what
No.
you get.
Yes, but it actually did provide some links to where you would find these types of things. It
Okay.
didn't provide prices, but
Can look it up.
you can basically Google whatever this speaker is that it's referencing and find out. But
What month would we be shooting for?
they do August. They start in August. They do 3 to 4 on Thursday nights in August, but they get conflicts when football for high school starts up the later part of the month. Plus, I think the sun goes down a little earlier in August than it does in June and July. So, but yeah, they try to do them on Thursdays, whatever deconflicts with their city
So
schedule.
like every Thursday in August? is basically what the goal would be.
Till high
Where
school
are we
football
talking about setting this up?
Well, that's what they do. It doesn't mean that's
Oh, they would,
what we have to do.
no, I mean, where would we consider putting the movies in the park? Would we rotate it around, or would we?
I think so, unless we find a place that works really well.
Well, I wonder if we should try it where the proposed amphitheater may go
For the
someday.
first time, put it up there?
Yeah.
Hmm.
See
You
how
mean
it
in the kite
works.
flying field down there?
Yeah.
Well, there's no
Yeah.
power.
There's
though.
no
They need to
power.
have a power source of significant power.
But when the First Street Pavilion was built and designed, if you go inside that and look up at the ceiling, there's actually brackets for a projector there, and it was wired for it.
Oh, really?
There's bathrooms there with kids and the concession.
Maybe for a fun place to start.
I think it'd be nice at a beach.
Yeah.
You guys,
know?
you guys had also talked about Retzmerick Park when it first started conversations, if I remember. That's a good question.
I think we talked about the band shell on the North Marina Riverwalk. The
Even-
North Riverwalk has
Yeah,
power, right?
Yeah.
Because
there's
then you
power
have that
there.
seating
You've got
built
the
into
seating.
the hill.
The raised, I think
That-
that'd be a
that's
good
neat.
spot.
That would be good.
So I
That's
just need to
neat.
meet with Ron.
Yeah,
Yeah,
give him
come
a,
up.
he is the one I haven't contacted.
Okay.
And I think he suggested
Yeah.
maybe seeing if we could rent their equipment from them. But
That's a
it would
good
have to be in
idea.
an off month.
I
It
was
couldn't be
wondering that.
August, it could be July.
That would benefit them and us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And actually,
they
you
would
might be able
teach
to
us.
rent the person that runs it. They'd probably
think?
Yeah,
want,
just have him come up and
They would-
show us the ropes, and
they
then we
would
take
want
it
the
over.
person probably to be
Right,
here to
they
run
would.
it. I wouldn't want someone else to
Yeah.
run my
right.
equipment, so.
Okay. I'll make contact with
Full
Ron.
package.
Thank you. And they had all kinds of tips about, you buy the DVD, you do a not
Yeah.
a raffle, but a drawing for it at the end of the night, and you give out the DVD as a prize at the end. And they had concessions from high school groups just wanting to do fundraising like we started at Duffy. So, but yeah, it all kinds of it's like the guidebook of what to do, just not the technical part.
Let's get going on it.
Yep.
We talked
Yes.
about it.
Make it
long.
happen.
So, yeah.
But this was mainly for you, because you said you wanted to.
All right, I got it.
Everyone
let the
else,
record show.
Sarah's-
Are there
And that will help.
concessions,
I just don't want to do technical. make
are there
work.
concessions going on at Duffy? I haven't heard anything on that.
Yes, for 3 weekends, they've been doing.
I don't know
Okay.
though, we'd have to find out. Are they now selling a little better?
Oh, yeah, the first day we need
$2.
Nobody really knew you were there. There was
It's not
no
about the dollars,
advertising.
It's about being there, about using
Yeah.
that space. You ladies cleaned that up so nice. I don't think that's ever been.
That's a great space. You look
I
out the
don't think
window
so.
and you're
Yes.
staring at
Yeah.
green space in Lake Michigan. It's the nicest concession in the,
It's lovely.
yeah, and
So,
there's fans in there, there's heat in there. It's very nice. So thank you for running that.
well, we took
Because-
it on just to see what would happen, and that was just the end of soccer, and it was great. I didn't know baseball started practicing today as I left Sands Park. There was a big crowd there because they were practicing. I didn't know that was happening today. They said it would be after Memorial Day that we would start the baseball. So we're going great guns as best we can, and we will show up when baseball starts and see what
That's a,
happens.
thank you for
Yes.
doing it. The rec center took that on and it was a great, it's a service. And
Yeah.
the very first time that they opened, when they sold the $2, we can't sell coffee. I contacted the health department. They're doing it 100% right. It has to be packaged things, packaged water, packaged pop, that's in a can. It cannot be self-serve coffee. It cannot even be donuts from Wesco that we didn't touch or make. Can't be pizza. And they're following all the rules 100%, but that's, the coffee would have gone better on that 30-degree morning.
We'll figure that out yet, we just don't know. Jerry had a great idea, we have a couple of ideas, we're gonna get it wrong.
Yeah, it's working, so thank you for doing that.
But legally.
Yeah, and thank you to the DPW guys who came over when we were cleaning, Liz and I, and they moved out that big equipment and took it over to your guys' garage. And thank you, and they
They
helped
came right
move the
over.
picnic tables away from the windows and helped us with whatever we needed, so that was really, really nice.
That's a great spot. That's a whole, it's a
Yeah.
neat place there.
I'll tell you, if you are looking for a wonderful place to watch the fireworks, that is a great place to watch fireworks on the 4th of July.
Duffy Park?
If you don't want to get all the way into the beaches and deal with the crowds, you got all that grass space. It's good there too.
Could
Yeah.
that work for movies in the park? Is there
could.
power there that people
Oh, yeah.
can be in the
There's power.
field and?
There's power and
there's
concessions and bathrooms.
Right.
That's a big thing, I think, with kids watching a movie.
Where is their power, though? Is it by the, obviously by the building, probably, right?
Yeah, the building has power.
So, okay. That's the
I
third
like that
option.
amphitheater with the angled seating or whatever you call it, the
Oh,
raised, yeah.
but there's no
That's a no-brainer.
bathrooms.
Well, is there a portage on there? I can't remember, no.
What was the question?
There's no restrooms at the.
Riverwalk?
There is, the county transportation has public restrooms on the corner.
Oh. Like at a movie night, they'd let those be open? I wonder.
I don't know what, if they close those, but those
Oh.
are the public restrooms there.
They're not open as a rule, Jeff.
They're not?
Yeah, we asked it.
Okay.
Maybe they would though on that night. And it'd just be families and children. It wouldn't be, it should be a decent group.
Depending on what we,
One thing to think about that Thursday night is Roots on the River, so
Oh.
on that same spot.
not Thursdays, okay.
So
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we don't want.
We can't do Thursday if they're doing Thursday in
Right.
Lebanon. We
But that
want-
would be August. If we did June or July, then, well, June's kind of fast, but if we did July or September, then.
Maybe we could share the movie. I wonder if Swank, or whatever, Swank would, if we showed it Wednesday and they showed it Thursday, I wonder if we could get a little better deal
In
on the
August?
movie in August. Just piggyback off of that.
I don't know.
It's worth a try.
Tim can ask.
Yes, it's worth a try.
I'll talk to Ron.
Okay, so anyway, that's movies in the park. And then story time in the park, we have the 2 dates, July 10th and 24th, I believe. And I spoke with Angie a couple times, and we have themes for a Mad Hatter Tea Party at Reeds Park. And then the other is, she called it Duck Duck something, where she wants to feed the ducks at the marina. And I said, well, what if there are no ducks that we can find to feed? Why don't we get a wading pool and little rubber ducks like they do at the carnival at the fair?
Isn't there signs that
This.
say don't feed the ducks?
Are there actually signs that say don't feed them? Okay. Is there any place we can feed ducks? No. Is there any other location the ducks go?
I'm not-
mean,
I don't.
I
I
don't
don't.
supervise the ducks.
okay. I'll have to rethink that one,
You
maybe.
gonna let Angie know?
Do the
Maybe I
waiting
should.
pool. Just do that and have
The
a
waiting
drawing and put a number on a couple of them, give a prize. It'd be good. Do the rubber
We
ducks.
could do a duck hunt, like
Yeah,
search
yeah.
for the ducks,
Yeah,
but
something.
not feed them, maybe? I don't know. We'll talk about that. So anyway, those are the two dates and themes in progress. Park Art Drop, Karen's not here, but she procured a really cool tile that says Manistee that somebody glazed and fired in it. So she's got one artwork and another woman who reached out to us after the Facebook post we posted about needing art. So there's a second one in the works, but if anybody has any ideas about locations they want to highlight or hide something not in public, please email
Cool.
me or
That's the
let
hardest
me know.
part.
Because once we have a location, I can start working on the clues, but it's hard to make clues when you don't have a location, so. Do you want to work on clues this year, Jeff? Do you want to write clues?
See a good
I
crew,
won't
Nate?
do it, I will assist.
Well, okay. But yeah, if you have a location.
A little harder location.
Well, we had a couple good
Yeah,
locations.
no, I mean, the people are getting better.
Yes,
You have to keep it
well, the clues have to be harder, like,
Progressive.
progressive.
they were
Yeah.
progressive, they were just too quick, I think. Yeah.
So, I guess let's do parks that we haven't done.
Let's not talk
Wanna-
about it
we
now.
can't- Even that is a clue, right? Hello. They know what they've done in the-
I've got a place, let me tell you about it. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so anyway, that's, in progress, and then.
We'll put it in the same spot as last year. How's that?
I don't think to look there. It's already been done. Okay, do you have anything with dancing in the park yet?
They're kind of interested. I did talk to someone who's done it. They're actually they do it, I think, every Tuesday. It's an active group. And they said, yeah, that would be fun. I think they were thinking, oh, move to the beach for the summer. I said, we were thinking like once or twice. So, yeah, they would do it. And
What group is it?
there's a line dancing group. I think they meet at the
Really?
DFW. They meet every week, and they're great people. And, yeah, so.
That's neat, is that like country music line dancing?
Yeah, kind of more country, that line, but they're good, I think, that it's.
Well, if they practice every week.
Yeah, I think it just sounds fun, so we just need for that, I think the nice spot for that would be Fifth Avenue, because you've got that beautiful cape of area to dance right out there. And then if it rained, you could move inside with the fire. And so I think that would be fun. So we should pick a date and a time,
Okay.
and then,
What month are you thinking?
what month does everybody else think?
I think
Well-
June's really busy
Yeah.
Is June the busy?
for me.
Okay.
I don't know about anybody else, but for me, June is really busy. What about you guys?
I go summer July.
I don't,
August?
I just know June and July seems to be when people are around. August, people start disappearing.
So maybe in
That's true.
July.
July. We have 2 story times in July as well,
Okay.
and a park art drop.
But this would be in the evening.
I mean, we could do June, which is,
Do July. It'd be a nice hot summer night. So we can just pick a weeknight, and I'll ask them what night would work.
oh, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
there you
Okay.
go.
We'll work
And then what
around that.
time are we thinking?
Post dinner.
See what works with them,
Okay,
you
like
know?
7:30 or later or earlier?
Well,
Be nice with the sunset.
Yeah. Say 7:30, not earlier, because yeah, you're right, the sunset would be nice. Okay, I'll see what they say, I'll call
Sun
them.
doesn't set till like 9:30 or. like
Well,
during
they can,
July,
they
right?
gotta teach us the dances, and then we
Yeah.
can dance, and then they can bring
good.
things, beverages or snacks or something.
And
This should
then-
be fun, and this might be I'm thinking more of an adult, I know the movies in the park might be, but this would be something for adults to do in the park.
yeah.
Could be fun.
Well, at any age group. Doesn't
Yes,
matter.
any age group, it could be kids, it could be teenagers, and yeah.
And your
If you
dog.
had a big crowd, you could use the tennis courts at Fifth Avenue as well.
Yes.
That's a big space.
Yes, that's what yeah, good.
Just take down the nets, is that what you're thinking?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of space on both sides of it.
Okay. Okay. And speaking of the tennis courts over there, I know you weren't here last month, but we voted on removing the basketball from that tennis court. I don't know if you saw that. One of us made a motion to remove the basketball from
If they're
Fifth
not
Avenue.
fixing it, they just might get rid of it.
Right.
Get rid of it?
Yeah,
Because
it
it's
serves no
tennis.
purpose.
It's pickleball. It seemed odd to us to have a combined
Well, we were waiting,
tennis,
yeah, okay,
but, sorry, we were waiting?
I'm good.
Okay. Old business? Does anyone have anything else in the park? Or what about the police department?
They want to do that pop-up. He didn't give me a date yet. And Josh said he'd provide the hot dogs. And thinking Morton Park, and it would just be, Josh Glass had suggested and asked. He came and said, just kind of a friendly encounter with the police, a pop-up. And I thought, we never really had a kickoff with Morton as far as the grand opening, so that could kind of be our grand opening. And the police, I think, would do a lot of it. They'd do most of it. It won't take us.
Play basketball too?
Yeah, play basketball, and just have hot dogs and beverage and just invite the neighborhood. So,
That would be
okay,
neat.
I'll call him back, see if he's
Okay.
on the date. I gotta write these things down.
All right, anything else on events?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, old business Duffy Park concessions, we already kind of talked about. But the Sands Park Teen Center, AAY, has done a great job, and it was just kind of we're gonna do it, and we're gonna clean it, and we're gonna see who wants to do it, and I think it worked out. So, thank you. Is there anything about Sands Park in Jefferson? Is that just kind of no new developments, no?
We're the last to know.
I know.
I was sitting there and I'm still not sure what happened, so.
Okay.
Well, essentially, the school presented some changes at Sands Park that they would like to do in the future that coincides with the age group of the school once it opens, but didn't give a date and didn't give a time frame on that. And then there was going to be some discussion on Jefferson, and they removed it from the agenda, so.
And then we got to the maintenance part and the meeting was over. So it was,
Okay. No new development since whenever that
Not that I'm aware of.
yeah.
happened.
Not
Okay.
that we're aware of.
Okay. New business is Morton Park bush planning, and I didn't do a PowerPoint, but John's not here, but he was out with Greg today planting. I took pictures of like John swinging an axe.
It's good to have proof.
Well,
Yeah. So he's very.
that project
Yeah.
turned out, DPW dug the holes, Jerry Hoff from the Tree Commission donated the grasses, and we all hope that they grow. And, he had them removed from his yard, and then it was
Plant.
John Beach.
That's very cool.
And then Greg King came in and volunteered. So it turned out to be a decent project, and then they want more. So they think that they can do that whole wall all the way up to the gate and then go around the corner some. So actually, the grasses would really soften that park. It's gonna be a good thing.
I don't have the after pictures. I
You
I
have,
went
there's
this morning.
more?
More coming,
Yeah.
Wow.
and let's just hope they all grow. We
It
don't
looked like
know.
they had more grass sitting there that
Yes.
they didn't have holes for
And their
too,
plan
so.
is to meet Tuesday to do it again, to
Okay.
finish it on
Will it
Tuesday.
survive being dug up and laying out there?
I called for rain tonight, so they should be
You did.
fine.
Thank you.
Something like that, you could always splash some water on it, it'll be okay.
Okay.
But,
So I didn't know if we wanted to notify the News Advocate, get some after pictures and,
Well, we should, they get it when
Something.
they plant a tree, so we should
Yeah.
have, maybe Tuesday.
Somebody should take a picture now, and then once they all, when they
Right.
grow, because they'll get to 3 foot tall, and they keep spreading, so.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe that would be good though, because you know what? Greg is a volunteer, so is Jerry. That might be a good idea to have those three down there, and so is John.
Yeah.
To have the pictures with those three in it. I'll ask them, I'll call the paper and see if they want to take a picture Tuesday when they're down there planting them. That's a good idea, so.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, so, we already talked about the marina, chess and shuffleboard. The Parks Commission open position posted, it's out there on Facebook and the city webpage. But we know nothing yet, correct?
I don't know if any-
I don't know if anyone's applied, or, we
Right.
may not know.
That's run through the clerk's office, I don't
Right.
know.
So, but hopefully we'll have some.
or if someone knows someone, are the applications still open?
Through the next, June city council meeting, I think.
Okay.
1st of June,
Let's see
maybe?
because it hasn't been
Well,
in
there's
the
a meeting
paper.
next Tuesday.
It's not until June, though. They post it for, I think, 30 days.
Yeah.
So it's the first June city council meeting. They'll select someone if there is someone.
Okay.
So,
It's such a fun commission, we should be able to come up with someone.
I know, I just got an email that my term is up, and I have to reapply. I'm like,
Oh,
I'm waiting to
That's
be
true.
convinced to stay.
oh, yeah.
well, you have to stay and do movies in the parks. So.
Yeah, you've got committee
You can't
assignments.
leave now, you
You
got.
can't
I
leave.
need dinner. Need some things to consider.
So that just leaves us with a roundtable discussion. Does anybody have?
Nope, I'm good.
Laney?
I guess, so when the gentleman presented at city council, the new martial arts thing starting at the old Servpro building on 8th Street, he mentioned, this big building, I want to do stuff. And one of the things he said was pickleball courts, indoor pickleball courts, which to me, that's what we should be looking at. And more of them, I guess, because it'd be nice if it was a dedicated pickleball area. So I guess let's start making that happen.
What building is that? I'm not familiar with
It's,
that.
I know, it's
So-
kind of.
Off of 8th Street, 8th and, what is that street?
High,
8th and Vine.
8th and High.
High? Okay. And the road kind of curves.
Is it
right
big
at the
enough to
corner.
host?
It's a big, huge building.
It's across from the old Blue Waters Cafe.
Does it have
Used to
tall
be the
ceilings?
VFW.
I know where it is.
Well, I was trying to,
Oh, do you think it's tall enough? It's-
I don't know.
It's a pole barn, basically.
Oh, okay.
There's a couple different sections to the
Yeah,
building.
and there is one towards the back. And that's, and maybe, I can call John and maybe we can meet with this guy and he can look it over. Because it might be at least something till we get something else done. And then, just kind of looking ahead, we talk about a splash pad and an ice skating rink. Should we start, is there a place we could even put something like that? Because in my mind, a combo thing. Because they make them, the splash pad and the ice rink is the same structure. But is there, is there a place we could even put one in the city?
There's a splash pad programmed into the beach master plan at First Street.
By the basketball court, I think. right?
Yeah. Yep. But there wasn't ice skating
I thought we talked
venue
about
there.
sand being an issue there.
I think that's why they moved it around by the towards the basketball and the volleyball court,
Oh,
next to the old Rocket Park, kind of in that area. I think sand's still gonna be an issue, but it's not as bad.
I mean, there's nothing to stop, I mean, that's just the plan, so it doesn't have to happen there.
Right.
But, you know, in my mind, I can't think necessarily of another place. I mean, so, I mean, Sands Park, maybe, somehow, but it'd be squash. There'd be room by Reed's Park, but, you know, the Saints aren't gonna wanna give up their concession, because you definitely need a warming shelter in the winter. But,
Are you thinking moving the skating rink from Sands Park and getting a,
well, I think, you know, this is a long-term thing, and I just think we need to plan ahead. Because things like what's been happening in Sand Park sometimes take a life of their own.
A little bit.
And I don't want, you know, I would like to see things proactively happen.
I love the idea of having a skating rink that's one of those that has the cooling system underneath, so
Yeah.
that you can run it during sleigh ball weekend and not have to worry about whether there's gonna be, well, there's never really ice in December, early December, is there, for a rink? But it would be great for the city to be able to have that as a asset during sleigh ball, to do something like that, but.
You know, and in reality, I don't even know the cost to maintain anything like that. I mean, it's been 100 years since I've had to deal with it, so. Start looking.
start looking ahead?
Like the
Is
way
that
you
the kind
did
of thing you're thinking about, is?
Yeah.
Versus the flood the field and
Yeah,
try to do
because,
that?
you know, let's face it, that's not exactly reliable, the weather.
We did look into the cost, a couple years ago, and it was hundreds of
250
thousands.
to 400, depending on what size you want.
What size, yeah.
Yeah.
But then, you know, you gotta think about how much to actually maintain it,
That's
you know,
real cost.
yeah, after that. Just to cool it every season or something, and I know it would fluctuate. But, so anyways, I wanted to throw that out there, and that's that. But, the potential of pickleball, is it okay if I contact John and maybe, I go by there a lot, and I see the owner, you know, I know they're doing stuff there, and I could easily knock on the door and say, hi.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Just keep in mind that it's not public property though, so it'd be
Right.
tough for us
Well,
to
he's
spend any
not- he
resources.
doesn't own it.
Yeah.
That's why I know it'd be.
So the
a
insurance
temporary-
might be an issue because you can get hurt in pickleball. You know, I mean,
Well, it couldn't be a city function,
No.
is what I'm saying.
right, it'd have to be private.
Well,
But it's a
When I
source.
had done the layouts all around the community,
Yeah.
when we were meeting with Sarah,
yeah,
I had put out the Olson's grocery store building when it was vacant at the time,
Yeah.
the old Save-A-Lot.
right,
It'd be nice if somebody did a for-profit in that,
yeah.
I mean, because there's a lot of space. I don't know how much is being used now, though.
Well, that building is for sale, the old Surf Pro building. He's leasing.
Yeah,
So, you know, that's why it might be, and that is an area of the city that could use some revitalization. So, you know, that's why I was thinking of that. And he had brought it up,
Yes.
so.
How many courts could fit in there?
You know, he made it sound like it's big. He said it's huge, and he's only using one part of it. So, that's why I
Yeah.
think I'd like to explore it further, I guess, for other things.
When you talk about it with him, there was I think it was a father and son in Acme that took on the old, I think it was a Kroger's grocery store, Kmart. And they did a for-profit and the use is so good.
Good.
And they don't charge that much, but it gets turnover and enough that they did it as a for-profit and were able to pay for the renovations and the setup and but that
Many
would be a
towns are
good
doing
community
it for
asset.
profit, as private, and maybe this man would like to do it. If he's renting the whole building, there's nothing
I
keep,
don't know if he
he
is.
probably is. There's nothing keeping him from doing a little
Right.
for profit. He's
Yeah.
already got insurance on his karate, he just adds it,
Yeah.
another policy or whatever. So he might be interested in that.
Well, and, you know, the impression I got is he was looking to see if the city was interested when he did the presentation. He said, I'm doing martial arts, but there's enough room to do
Well-
other things there.
Yeah, and the city doesn't do the recreational aspect, but maybe the MRA would be interested in partnering with something like that, but,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Good idea.
I'm good.
You're good?
Yep.
Liz?
Good.
You're good too. I feel like I had something, but it left me. So if I think of it, I'll email you or
We'll
something.
keep voting for #1 beach in Michigan.
Right, exactly.
Tight lines for troops this weekend. Memorial Day's right around the corner and we're off to the summer season.
Oh, I remembered. We have to do a June annual bus tour, and it's already May. So,
And that worked out well last year in June.
Yeah.
yes, it did.
Okay.
Do you organized that for us last year, right?
Katie,
We just schedule the bus and then talk a lot. We're ready.
Have to choose a date,
Wasn't it usually the
Your
June
parks
meeting?
meeting.
but that is on Juneteenth, and I think does the city recognize
What's Juneteenth?
Juneteenth?
I don't think so.
Holiday. I just, because I didn't put our meeting in June because it was a federal holiday on
Yeah.
the 19th of June. It's not something I celebrate. But anyway, I'll be out of town that week.
Oh,
And I'd really like to go.
She just
So,
let us know.
can we not do it the 4th?
Sure.
Third Thursday?
As long as you give us time to post it, pick the day you want to do it.
Do we need to do that now, or?
It would be
Probably.
helpful.
Yeah.
Good to know now?
It'd be helpful,
let's do
yeah.
it.
Can we not do it between the 16th and the 20th? And then,
Let me see if it's posted online. Are you looking?
that helps. Or you need your calendar.
well, no, it's okay.
You looking for a date in June?
Yes.
I-
Yes, we are.
Just a suggestion, I would maybe look at the 12th, because the week after you're gone, then you're getting real close to the 4th of July. But that'd be
Can we do
okay
that?
too,
I can't do it that
No?
week.
of the 12th.
Yeah. I mean,
What about the week before?
I could do it,
The 6th or 5th?
well, that's pretty.
The 6th is
A
Noah's
Friday.
graduation
Okay.
party.
Okay.
Can we do
What,
that?
you could do the 26th, that's a Thursday, last week of,
Right close to the 4th. Nah,
well, I better have stuff ready by then, so. It's up to you guys.
Does it have to be a Thursday? Is any other day work for anyone?
I think you could do
Well,
it.
it conflicts. Remember when we tried to change the date of the meetings, the issues we had?
That was
Well,
because of
not,
holidays
yeah,
and
I
things.
think
That wasn't,
it's a bus tour,
it's just
so
a
we won't need that.
one-time thing.
Oh, well, maybe a Monday.
June 5th or Monday, yeah.
Monday works for me, 16th.
I won't be here
Monday.
that week.
Oh, that's the week you're gone. That's
Yeah.
right.
The 9th or the 2nd, Tim, which works better for you, Monday?
Yeah.
How about you, Jeff? Do you have conflict
Which day?
on Monday?
Like the 9th, are we thinking now?
The 9th, we have tree commission at 5, but they're usually done by 6.
How about the 2nd? Or would we go at 6?
Oh, we could go at 6.
We could go at 6, and then you'd be,
Then we'd be here.
your
anyway.
call though.
That's fine.
Which date?
You know what?
No.
You may get some of them
It's
to
the
jump
second
on the
Monday
bus
in
with you.
June.
June 9th is what you
June
said.
9th?
Yeah.
The
At
Monday?
6 o'clock?
Second Monday. Mm-hmm.
June 9th.
That would work.
I could do that.
City council went last time, and that was good. Yes.
You may get some of the tree commissioners to jump on the bus too.
Let's do that.
Nice.
That'd
Just
be
get a big
great.
enough bus for.
Okay, the
Gonna need a bigger bus.
tree commission ahead of time, so they plan. And city council, who wants to ask?
I can send out invites.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank
you
you.
could bring it up at the meeting. And
Does
who
that work
else?
for you,
Yeah.
Monday the 9th?
Yep.
Laney?
Yes.
Yes. Yes for us?
Yes,
Yes for
let's
you.
ask the,
At 5:30.
Sarah would like to join us.
Sarah,
Sarah has always gone, she's
Well-
good.
6 o'clock,
6?
6?
because the tree commission meets at 5 and they're usually done by 6.
What about the NRBC? I wonder if any of them would like to come. And there's a little overlap, but that might be good for them to see the parks if they want to or not. I mean, it's not like it's,
I think it's absolutely fine, but we should do kind of a RSVP to make sure we've got enough seats then.
Okay.
we might not get too many, but we,
We'll save one for Sarah because we know she wants to come.
Right in
Every
front,
year, right?
right in front.
Okay, and you'll do the arrangement?
I'll send, yeah. I'll
We'll,
send
we'll
invites.
handle that, yep.
Thank you. And then are we going to meet again at First Street or here at City Hall or?
I would think right here, since
it works.
respectfully, we're already
If
gonna
the
be in a
tree commission's
commission
here,
meeting.
pick 'em up here.
Yeah,
Okay, sorry, that was my thing,
okay.
but that's it.
Last time, then we got done, we had
Do they
pizza,
have to
didn't we,
make a
at the
motion?
pavilion?
We did.
Do they have to make a motion?
Let's plan on that. I'll sponsor that.
Okay. I sponsored it last year.
Would,
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
would that bus tour be in place of your June meeting then?
We have no June meeting
Okay.
scheduled
Juneteenth.
because it's Juneteenth.
After you adjourn, I'd like some help understanding that.
Look it up.
I
Google
don't
it.
really have a lot of understanding. I just saw it's a federal
You
holiday.
get the day off?
No, they don't hear.
No, they don't recognize it?
No.
Okay.
Just the banks. It's the bank holiday.
Federal holiday, I don't know. So I'm sorry, do we need to adjourn the meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
I make a motion that we adjourn our meeting.
Do we have a second?
I second.
Yeah.
What? Did I get in quicker? Who got in quicker?
You did.
Second.